Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Tell It to Trevor. Today on my podcast, I have
Who do you have?
TJ Brady.
There you go. That's who you have. Hello, everybody.
TJ, so what sparked your interest in the professional wrestling industry?
TV. The best way to describe that is I saw it when I was growing. It wasn't the main thing I was interested in growing up, but I watched it, and
Yeah.
then the tale as old as time. I graduated college for film school. I did a wrestling project, and then it kind of
Okay.
went from doing the project, and then I did go into training around 2021. So I was like doing them both at the same time because obviously I was like, well, might as well go to school for two things because I was only 17. So I was like, I can just
Yeah.
do both. So I did both. Graduated the college in 2021 or two. I graduated college, and then I graduated the TC earlier last year in February. So it's pretty much been a straight year since graduating. But the main reason I really got into it is because our coach at the time, Francisco Chiazzo, I was filming a bunch of stuff, and he saw what I was doing, and then they kind of incorporated it. Because I got into an injury where I couldn't train for a little bit, so I wasn't at the WWNTC for a little bit. But I kind of got brought back into, and then point, I was like, oh, let's just go. Let's just train again. And then here we are. So
Yeah.
that's all that happened. TV and film school. We'll blame it on that.
Okay. Who are the wrestlers you grew up watching that you loved watching?
Uh, so this is a weird one because I didn't really watch. Like, I watched, obviously. Everybody
Yeah.
watched, but they wasn't watching. I would say, I believe I've said the same every time someone asks. I was big on AJ and Jericho. Those were the two that I liked when I was watching. And then right before I even got into it, like 2016, it was all AJ. So like AJ, we'll go with him.
AJ Styles.
Yeah, yeah.
How did you get your start in the wrestling world?
Pretty much answered that by accidentally, but pretty much I started training at the WWNTC in 2021 in December. December 1st, 2021 was the first time I stepped into the ring. So I did that. Started training. Then I got into a car accident, which put me out for a little bit. Then I came back. Um, Then I came back when I was in film school, the same thing. Frank pretty much pulled me into doing more because I was just there to take pictures of stuff for like Proving Ground at the time and do like graphics. And then it turned
Yeah.
into, hey, you want to finish training? And I was like, yeah. So I trained again for another, I think it was like 9, 10 months from May. It was from May to November, or not November. It was May to February when I graduated. So, or rather, it was January. It was like January, the beginning of January 2024, but I didn't debut until February. So yeah, that's how I kind of got started. Was I believe I called a school in Orlando because I couldn't find a TC, and then the guy referred me to Frank, and then I called Frank, and then because
Huh?
I didn't know any better, so I'm just gonna call this number he gave me. I answered, and all I hear is, "Hello, this is Francisco Kietz on the WWTC," and I was like, "Oh boy, here we go." So that was my first introduction to him too. And ever since then, here we are still. So
Okay.
WWA.
What was your first wrestling match like?
We'll break this into two parts because technically, I debuted in the Battle Royal, which technically is my first match. But if you want to go singles, I wrestled Aaron Nova on Just Wrestling for Frank on March 23rd. It was either March 22nd or March 23rd of last year. So it technically hasn't even been a year since my first singles. But if you want to go first match, February 18th, tribute to the Shot Caller last year Battle Royal. I was the referee still at the time, so I took the shirt off, put myself in the match, and decided to pick off the biggest guy in the match, which is Solomon. So I went after him. I gave him a couple good shots, and then he gave me a choke slam to the outside onto the floor for my first elimination. So that was my first ever match. Was being eliminated by a choke slam on the concrete. at OCC. So, and I beat Aaron Nova in my first singles match. So, and I'm wrestling him March 29th at Mero Pro. Almost a year to the day from my debut wrestling Aaron Nova again. So, we'll see how much I've changed in the last year.
What are your goals for the future in the wrestling business?
I want to win tag team gold with my partner Giovanni Flores. So we haven't won any tag teams yet. I've won 2 singles titles, but I haven't won tag team gold yet. So we're looking at that to be in the 2025 goal, and then the other goal is to get into another. We're gonna say another state because we're already getting into Georgia and someplace else I can't talk about. But we're gonna get somewhere. I want to get the tag team out there more. So the goal, I guess, is to get into another state by we'll say like September. We'll go September. Just so it's more realistic. I don't want to say the end of the year because we're going to be out of here before that. September, we'll go with that.
Um, let's see. What is your
And
wrestling
that's Damon
character
Gemma and
or
Giovanni boys.
what's your character or persona for the wrestler? I mean, for the fans around the globe that are watching this episode.
I would go with a. It's hard to explain it without getting into much detail. We're just gonna put into a spoiled child, or without. Well, it's changed a couple times. We're gonna go with a spoiled who doesn't get his way and will get my way if I don't get it the way it's
Yeah.
presented to me. Like that's Rick Dane's what happened. So he got a nice shot and he suspended us for about two weeks. That didn't end up well for him either. We get what we want.
Can you share a memorable moment from your wrestling career so far?
All right, everyone always goes with what they do in the ring for theirs, but we're gonna go with something that's not in the ring. Something that
Okay.
stands up to me immediately is our first time in Georgia. It was like Georgia. It was old school. Was it? No, I don't know. There's like 3 of them, like the same name. It was like Georgia Championship Wrestling. Five of them. We were at that one for the first time. It was January. Frank it was Frank got us the booking. We went up there. He passed away right before we could go up there, so we all honored the booking. Went up there. It was like me, Ray Elliott, and Rafael Delgado before Ray Elliott and Uni Vice became our arch rivals for the better part of a year already. But we all went up there on the road. We got to the hotel after the show, and I had a Bucky's onesie, and we had to film a TikTok video with the Bucky onesie and the pizza box. And then I had to slide into this elevator like 15 times. And I just kept running down this hallway, which is like a good 45 feet. So I just kept running down the
Yeah.
hall. It was like 3 in the morning, too. So we were just running down the hallway at 3 in the morning in a Bucky's onesie with a pizza box. I'll find it and post it somewhere, but that's something that stands out immediately. That was something like a memory that's not just in the ring. So I can remember everything in the ring, but this stuff's more special.
Um, can you describe the feeling of winning your first championship?
It was hot and shit out, and I just had a skewer in my head, so or something like that. He hit me with something. It was fun. The ring announcer butchered the name of the championship, so I was kind of pissed, and the guy forgot to bring out the title. So it was kind of like, hey, I just won my first championship in my third ever singles match, and oh wait, we forgot to bring the belt out and we mispronounced the belt name, so way to devalue anything. But in return, I've made that championship the most relevant title of that promotion, and it's on its way up to being, in my opinion, one of the most well-known belts in the indie circuit in Florida right now. I mean, you've at least heard the name once, so if you remember it, that's on you. Most of these people choose not to remember anything, but I'm on my way to make that title mean absolutely everything to anybody. So
Um, how do you handle the mental and emotional aspects of wrestling?
a lot of parts. If you can't handle this shit, you don't belong in the business. I'll just put it that way. Um, there's some things where it's like a you got to put a wall up to a degree to like we're all performers to a degree, and if you're out in public, right, and
Yes.
you're not getting recognized, and then even if like here's a better example. If you're in your hometown, right, and
Yes.
they run shows all the time there or whatever, and you go out and nobody recognizes, you're probably not standing out as a performer. Same thing with like social media. Like if you're just getting likes and the people that are liking it don't know who you are, then you're probably not doing your job as a performer to get attention and stuff like that. And like the way I handle it specifically is I'm pretty much the same I am in the ring as I am behind the scenes in a way, just turned down a little bit. So for me, it's easy to just switch and go out there, and then the connection with the fans is a whole other thing to where
Yeah.
it's like it's easy. And I was in film and TV beforehand, so it's connecting and storytelling, audience play, and then engagement. I've all had experience in before, so it's nothing new to me to just like engage with people, and especially like kids and all that. As like a bad guy, I don't really have to get along with the kids and all that, but there's some times where they still come up and ask for pictures and hold the championships and all that, which is weird. And I tell them all the time, like, I don't know why you want to come see me. I'm like, I'm a terrible person. Like, don't act like me ever. I say that all the time to kids when they come up to me.
Yeah.
Because you got to keep it honest with them. You don't want them believing that, hey, you're looking up to me. My character is a scumbag who cheats, hurts people, and does anything he can to hold on to his gold while running away at the same time. And I have like 5 running buddies now. So I don't really need kids looking up to what I am. I need them to look the other way. And it gets more sympathism towards the baby faces that I end up working anyways, so it ends up helping them out. And my job is to get the good guy his reactions and to make him a better person, and then they need to hate me more. Which by
Yeah.
telling them that, they're like, see this guy anyways, and they go away. Even when I'm like, if I'm on the floor, because this happens a lot for some reason, I get knocked out, I'm on the floor, and this you go okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay, give me a coat. I need to cool down. Just simple stuff like that. Why? It just comes
Yeah.
natural, we'll put it that way.
All right.
The
So we're
easy
gonna start
answer is
this.
screw them kids, but we're not going to go there.
So we're gonna start this segment called Trev Shock. I don't know if you've heard of it before.
Nope, but I like
Okay.
the name.
So it's like when you're in a business meeting, you have those rapid fire questions.
Oh, God. All right, I'm about to get fired. Let's do it.
All right. So you got 50 seconds to answer 6 questions.
I'm going to forget the first two, but let's do it.
Well, I mean, they're about you. So,
Oh, God. All right, it's even better. Let's do it.
favorite pre-show snack.
Protein bar.
Favorite song.
My entrance music.
Favorite wrestler growing up.
Hound dog.
Favorite color.
Green.
Favorite type of music.
My entrance music.
Okay.
Did I get
So,
everything?
yep. 30 seconds remaining.
Oh, wow. Look at that. True. Yeah, the PhD was my favorite. It's a good thing I get to wrestle in this Sunday at the WWN Super Show. You know, the
Yeah.
biggest company in indie wrestling right now, WWN. Just keep watching. Just keep watching.
Got a couple guys that have been on the podcast that have been on here.
Yeah, you had my new stablemate, Damian Gemini, on here when he was still around with his dad, but we kind of pulled him away from Papa Dog, and now he's hanging out with Malia. So bringing him a lot more success. You know, he's going to a couple different states, going around a lot more. Every promotion in Florida that I'm at, he's there now. He wasn't when his dad was there. I'm just saying. I'm just the Brady man is good at getting people jobs, getting people paychecks,
Yeah.
getting merch. It's like, hey, that's just my thing. You want work? La Maria is the answer. We're just getting out there,
Yeah.
and it's only not even a year of La Maria yet. So I don't hear anybody else say that we ain't worth something. We're obviously worth something. If we're not
Yeah.
worth anything to you, it's your problem, not mine.
So when are we gonna see you in the Carolinas?
Mm. I would say this year. I wouldn't say when, but I would say this year.
Okay.
I mean, hey,
Um.
this in the next 30 days, I will be in 4 different states. We'll put
Okay.
it that way. As of whenever this goes live, it's probably a week. We'll say as of March 15th, I would be in three to four different states. I think four states.
Okay.
So,
Um. What is the biggest challenges of being a professional wrestler outside of the ring?
mm, work-life balance. I say that's the big one for a lot of people. So it's either you spend your entire weekend on the road, or
Cheese on it.
Hmm.
There's no
uh,
cheese on it because mom said there's wood chips sometime.
super unprofessional. You're fired. Getting a snack during the middle of my interview. This is ridiculous.
I
See,
mean,
this leads into exactly what I just said. So the issue, the balance. This is a balance. So you're trying to conduct an interview, but you're hungry, so you have someone come bring you food during the middle of an interview. So that's one of the struggles. Whereas right now, I could be out hanging out with my friends, going out to the bar, but I have
yeah,
to sacrifice my time when I'm here. So it's a big issue, I would think, for a lot of guys is finding the time to make it a
yes,
career, because most of these guys have it as a hobby. They don't want to grow it and they don't want to expand it. Whereas this is going to be my life, whether anyone wants to hear it or not. I'm going to do this until I can. So I'm just going to keep growing from here. And the work life balance is easy for me because if you want something, you'll figure it out. If you don't want it,
yeah.
it's just your hobby, bro. Have fun on the mud shows.
I know. Like, reason I just had someone bring me food. My last interview starts at like 9 p.m. tonight.
See, the work life balance. Your work is going all the way up until 9 o'clock, and it is only 7:35. So you probably have two more pods.
Yes. How do you feel about the business side of wrestling, and then how do you feel about promotions shaping the storylines?
Business is business. I personally think people should get paid a little bit more, but that's neither here nor there. That's kind of a promotional thing. It's not really an everyone thing. So that's all my thing is. Business wise too is these guys got to start. Let me put it this way: you got to market yourself more and more
Yeah,
professional. A lot of the guys don't they blend too much between real life and their characters per se, especially on social media for like the business aspects. Like we're trying
yeah,
to get like sponsorships and bookings and all that. I learned this from a very reputable source. But if you're scrolling through your social media and it's a bunch garbage repost and shares, and then you're complaining about politics, and then you're complaining about your job, your 9 to 5, and you're saying car blew up at the show. You don't look
yeah,
like a star to me if you're asking for rides and shows on your Facebook page. So there's a fine line between that and the business aspect because you always want to be marketable. If somebody types in your name on social media because they want to figure out more about you, and the first thing they see is a post saying, "Oh, my car just blew up. I just got fired," and "Oh my God, the guy I voted for didn't win," they're gonna be like, "Who? He's just like one of us. He's no different than that." But if they go on your social media and all it is dates, promos, graphics, merchandise, they're like, "Oh, this guy's busy. He's a star." It's not that hard. So obviously, there's a thin line between that too, because you want to share what you're doing, and if you're doing like fun stuff, like you're traveling on vacation, all that, you're hanging out with your friends, you want to post stuff.
yeah,
Cool, post that stuff, and then work it into the caption, or like, "Hey, I'm taking some time off the road with some pals before I go to the next town." It's like mind blown. And then like the other aspect of your question too, um, hmm, I just forgot the other. What was the other half of it again?
um, how do you feel about promotions shaping the storylines?
Oh, story. Okay, me personally, this is probably just me because a lot of people don't care about this part too. When I say a lot of people, I mean more like the not like the the big names care, and the more like I mean, like the more experienced guys care. Some of the newer guys don't. Like
Yeah,
I include myself one of the newer guys because I am still new. But if you're not like, obviously you can flip flop between like good, bad, anywhere you go. Like if that's what the promotion wants, that's what you're gonna give them. Like you're there to do a job at the end of the day. If the promotion wants you to do something, just do it. It's not like you're gonna be sitting there like, oh my god, I can't believe I got to do this. I got to lose here. If the story make, you can always say this to the promoter too. Like if you really like, or like, oh, I can't believe why am I doing it? It doesn't make sense for my character.
yeah,
Just ask like, hey, how does this make sense for this? And I'm sure if they don't give you a reason, suggest something, and I'm sure they'll take your advice. It's not that hard to suggest an idea. Me personally, I'm very big on storytelling and all that. To where if you notice, everywhere I go, the stories are connected. If there's somebody on the roster that I've had a previous feud with, 9 times out of 10, we will interact while we're there, or if not, and just film something because why
yeah,
not? You're already at the same building, social media content is buzzing, and then all the time, if you look at my stuff, I hate everybody, and everybody hates me back. That's just the end of the day. Like Sakaris, we've only had one match, and it just happened when I beat him for the Young Lions Championship, which I have 2 singles titles already, and I beat Sakaris. But we've ended up running into each other in 3 other promotions. We just had it out in almost every parking lot because I can't stand him, and he ducked me in our first match. So it's not. It's like little stuff. And like another. I'll give a prime example of this. My second ever singles match, my first live in front of fans, was against Jules Bradley, and it was just a one and done match, whatever showcase
yeah,
match. I beat him with the baby powder, rolled him up, won, and then this turned into one of the longest, and I will say one of the best feuds in Florida to this date. We've had like 6 matches in every promotion, pretty much, that is notable at the moment and is striving. We've had and this Saturday we're having a match in Georgia for 2 championships, and this started from a one-off showcase match. And I'm sure we'll run into each other again in another state because this feud is just, it's going up and up, and it's just not going to stop because people keep paying to see it. They keep watching it. So when storyline and promoters want money, they will book good storytelling, and most of them do. Like there's
yeah,
like WWN is huge on that right now, especially with the stories they're telling. Like their storylines are pretty. I would say like some of the best out there in terms of like company wise. AMP is another one that has good stories. Even the company hasn't had a show since September because of the hurricane and all that.
yeah,
But yeah, they have like me, one of their champions, Xavier, one of their champ, Vice and Violence, El Waldo. The belts and storylines have continued for months at this point, and all the characters are still developing elsewhere. So it's stuff like that that can happen. And then there's even other companies like Atomic. They have their own storylines going down with like Dugan and all their what they're doing over there. And then there's stuff like Tri-State, which is continuing stories from Georgia old school championship wrestling. And then they incorporated AMP, and then they incorporated stuff from WWE. It's like they incorporate everything, put it together, and you got all these stories. And then it's like it's like an amalgam of stuff coming together to make one giant card. And then if you look at the matches on there, these are all storylines from out of state into a different company, and it's like mind blowing. So that's all for Tri States. And then the stuff like WWN, like there's a story with Damien, his dad, us, and Vice and Violence, which has been technically going on since May of last year. And the long term story has led us to this 6-man tag match at Super Show on Sunday at the OCC Roadhouse. Like that's a big match, and then
yeah,
hopefully we win, which gives us our momentum going into Monday's Proving Ground. We're in a fatal 4-way #1 contendership for the WWN Proving Ground Tag Team Championships. And when we win that, which I'm sure we will because we're just that good, we will go and beat Vice and Violence finally for the WWN Proving Ground Tag Team Championship, securing the goal that we've had for this year is winning tag team gold.
yeah.
So, I mean, there you go. That answers your question.
You went full into detail. I like that.
I'm not going to waste nobody's time. That's going to give them exactly what they need to hear.
Yeah. If you could wrestle any legendary wrestler from the past, who would it be and why?
Mm. I don't ever think stuff like that just because like it's not gonna benefit me. I would think like who is like a legendary. Let me change the question just because I think it might be more interesting. Who's like a legendary guy on the independent circuit who's not someone I like to wrestle with right now? And I would probably say somebody like a Cha Cha Charlie, a Bud Heavy, and August Artois, somebody that is on fire right now is doing so good
Yeah,
to where I can learn and then work off what they're doing and then use it in my own way. That's how I answer that question. Because it'd be nice to wrestle somebody who's done like a bunch of stuff that just comes out of retirement randomly. But I don't like to think that way because realistically, they're not going to help me now. But I will go back and watch what they've done, and that's
yeah,
how you tape study. So I mean, if I would go back and watch somebody, it's like always like the older stuff, and then specifically at my size, TNA X Division, all stuff like that is stuff that I like to watch because it benefits me going forward. That's why I said I like AJ Styles because guys like that, like my size, I can do stuff like that. So
yeah,
just all that answers your question, the
uh,
reformatted question.
yeah. If you could go to a wrestling seminar with any wrestler, who would you pick?
Well, that's a loaded question. Seminar. Um, who's pretty good right now? And I probably, honestly, probably somebody like a Jordan Grace who was
Yeah,
able to take TNA and take every card they handed her and make her a success, and then get herself signed from the big Finn at the same time, while still doing both. That's somebody I'd like to listen to. Just like to see what they've like done internally, mentally to get to that point, and then obviously the work she put out is pretty good too. So
yeah. If you could have a legend wrestler as your mentor, who would you choose?
I got one. I got Simon Says, one of the absolute best talkers in the business for years. Ran everywhere with the COD with Francisco Chiazza. Man, I got Says. That's all I need. That sounds arrogant as shit, but it's true. That's all I need is my mentor, Simon Says.
Yeah. Um. All right. So I got roughly three more questions for you.
All right, so let's shoot him.
What is your favorite hobby to do other than wrestling?
So like I said, I do film stuff. I like producing and filming stuff. I work on a couple of short films here and there. I'm currently producing something right now behind the scenes, a short film esque. I'd say esque because it's like 15 minutes. But I'm working on a couple of projects right now. I have
Oh,
this film I'm working on that script's already done, storyboards are done, and we're in pre-production right now. We're just getting budget set up, and then I'm going to start shooting. I want to say I'm taking time in the middle of March. I'm gonna do it after my big Alabama weekend. I'm gonna start filming it then, just get it out of the way. So yeah, I like filming and producing like short films and stuff. F my company, KSP Media, who filmed the legendary documentary "Son of a Journeyman" with August Artois, one of the best documentaries out there that wasn't made by a Fed, that was made by one man and his assistant Austin Small and Ricky, who is with me.
what is your favorite gear that you have ever had made?
I'll answer that pretty simply. So I had a gear made by Hendrix. So Hendrix made my newest gear of the day. It's the Pure Enough gear. It's the emerald on one side, which is an alludement to Simon Says, and then it has the diamond pattern on the other side in the white, and it's green, white, and red to initiate the Italian heritage and a whole tribute to Francisco Chiazza at the same time, while not driving too much on the pass and more of my own style. And that's kind of how we went with that. And then with the red singlet, the red boots, and the red knee pads, which I did have new knee pads made. I just don't know where they went, so they just never came out with the outfit. But I like the plain ones too; they stand out.
Um, and then where can they find you on social media?
Everywhere. Instagram for some reason is TJ underscore 1727. TJ Brady on Facebook and TikTok or Talk, whatever you prefer. YouTube is TJ Brady. I do not have a Twitter or X because I find that social media toxic and I will not be on there. How many bookings I can try to get off of it, it's not worth my time. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I don't really have any other social media because I don't need it. other than my email, which I'm not giving out because that's for booking information. And if you want it, you go on my Facebook or Instagram, you'll find it. So, I mean, yeah, that's all you can find. My YouTube channel is pretty good. I post all those matches. So anytime you think you've seen me wrestle, there's probably a new match, about 15 promos a week or something on there. So it's worth a watch. Something with the TikTok, there's always some highlight or something on there. It's at least one video a day. You'll see something.
Or if not, they might see you on IWTV.
Yeah, you'll see me on there. Can't say where. Actually, no, I think I can say where because yeah, no, I'm on there. Yep, I'll be there on whenever Atomic puts their next level 3 and I believe 4. I don't remember which one it was, but next level 3 for sure is going to be on there. Oh, the one I did in September with them, and then we did another one in November. That one should be on there as well. And then obviously their big 8-year anniversary show. I was just a part of the Cash In Battle Royal and the Rapture Open Challenge tag match. So whenever those are on Fight TV, they'll be over there too. And IWTV has Just Wrestling for Frank. That's on there too.
Yep. All right. Thank you, TJ, for being on the podcast
Never
today.
problem.
And then, guys, huge shout outs to the sponsors of Apple City Championship Wrestling, TBD Wrestling, and Wrestling Evolution. And then, guys, just remember we have a t-shirt contest going on. We have 5 designs out made by a professional company. Just go to Linktree on all platforms and fill that out. And we'll see the next person next after, I don't know when.
Go live whenever.
Yeah.